We have some pretty interesting things going on for Shiba Inu, for crypto in general right now. One thing for Shib has actually dropped by 48% in a very short period of time. And no, this isn't price. This actually just opened up the doorway for us to make some pretty wild moves here in the market. Now, I want to talk about that with you guys. Just want to do a grand survey of everything going on here as well. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So Shib on today's daily candle did some pretty exciting things. It actually got all the way up to 40142. Obviously, we're still fighting this 200-day moving average. We look at that SMA like we were talking about. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. We did, in fact, come down on today's daily candle and retest this. Obviously, we want to continue holding this, but we look across the crypto market right now, things are getting lively, but they're not totally going on this massive explosive breakout quite yet. And that's okay. What I will say is, obviously, if you guys follow me for ADA, ADA's doing incredibly well. Love to see it. And sometimes ADA precedes these bigger moves in the market. If you guys look back historically speaking, that's tended to track quite consistently. So ADA may actually be kind of our early indicator of a much bigger move that's on the way. This isn't to guarantee or financial advice or anything like that, but this is also coinciding with BTC setting a new all-time high yesterday. Very exciting sign. Huge institutional accumulation day on the Ethereum side. Also good institutional day on the BTC side. And actually Ethereum very, very close to an all-time high. It's only a couple percentage points away. That's exactly what we want to see. We are also seeing BTC dominance just continue to crater. We basically hit that cliff. And guys, this is what the start of alt season typically looks like. So it seems like everything's just kind of been delayed and pushed back just a little bit. And that's allowed a lot of people to pick up cheap positions, take advantage of dips that we've seen in the market. It's a great spot to be. USDT dominance down at just above 4% right now and looking really good. So it looks like we have a lot of room left for us to see some movements here in the crypto market. And so that got me looking at a couple things here. First of all, I did want to mention that whale flows over the last week have sucked. We have actually seen whales unload 387.53 billion Shib. Not really that much. And frankly, when we're looking at price over the last week, it hasn't really mattered. It hasn't really done a whole lot. The good news is that whales have done a great job of staying resilient. That's quite a small move, compared to everything in totality. In fact, over the course of August, whales have still bought very heavily. Whale holdings are in fact up over the course of this year, and it seems like a lot of them are kind of preparing for this much bigger move for Shiba Inu. And again, I'm not saying this is happening today, but it looks like the path has also been cleared wide open for us to make this move. Because when we look at open interest in terms of Shiba Inu, one thing I wanted to note is that, again, we have gotten to this point where the long-short ratio is back on the right side of things. Right now, there is actually a 2% imbalance to the long side for Shiba Inu. And we actually saw a drop off of 3% in terms of open interest over the last 24 hours. So we're seeing shorts close their positions and start to get out of the way. And that isn't the case everywhere in the crypto market. In fact, even like I talk about in some other assets like ADA earlier today, there's still a huge presence of short interest. But I think people are starting to realize that Shib is very close to making some more significant moves. And obviously nobody knows when this will happen. But something I wanted to point to is when we look at open interest in totality for Shiba Inu, since all the way back on July 21st, open interest has dropped off by 48%. That's a pretty big deal. If you guys remember, there was such a ridiculous imbalance at that time. It was like, what was it? Like 16% to the short side. It was weighted towards. So right now, shorts have been on a mass exodus. Bears have been on a mass exodus, at least when it comes to Shiba Inu. Excuse me. And that's a very promising sign. Now, unfortunately, the downside of this is we don't get the benefit of a massive short squeeze like some other assets might see in the crypto market. But what I will say is we're at this point still where there is such little Shiba Inu in the crypto market to go around that you can actually see a little bit of a supply shock, right? And some people might disagree with me. That's okay. It's just math, guys. All right. When you look at this in reference to BTC, when you look at this in reference to Ethereum, we did the math. There is less of a ratio of Shiba Inu on exchanges than there is Ethereum. It actually falls in between BTC and Ethereum. So this right now is kind of a great spot to be. Okay. Do I want to see Amazing price performance? Yes. Do I still think Shib can hit hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap? I've had some people ask me that question. Yeah, I do. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not Miss Cleo. I don't know what's going to happen here in the crypto market, right? But I think that leaves some massive upside potential, obviously, for Shiba Inu. We have to still trigger the same things we've been talking about. Not here quite yet. We still need retail optics. We still need retail adoption. We still need the big push of capital into the crypto market. It has not been triggered quite yet. But each and every one of these days where you see Ethereum putzing around an all-time high, BTC setting a new all-time high, all coins looking strong in the crypto market, that gets us closer and closer and closer to that switch actually being flipped and us to go on some pretty exciting runs. So I thought this was very interesting. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think this is setting us up perfectly? Are we going to see Shib go on some of these significant rallies? So appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.